Thank you for welcoming me here. I'm Kaisa from Unity, and we'll be talking about what we do with AI. Mainly, I call it machine learning because it's more natural for me in Unity monetization space. And first, few words about Unity itself. So Unity is world's largest, most widely used game engine for building mobile games, console, PC, and as a unique thing for it, VR and AR experiences. And actually, the VR and AR part of it, and being a 3D engine and physics engine at the same time, is what makes it really interesting for people working in AI and machine learning. Basically, you can use the engine we have for training your models, like making them to compete against each other. There is an initiative called machine learning agents, which you can find from our web pages, which is used for that. And another use case there is for example, training self-driving algorithms for self-driving cars by creating 3D models, the environments with Unity engine, and then training the models inside there. But the actual thing I'm going to talk about today is advertising. So that's the area where we have been using machine learning for the longest period of time. In total for 4 years. So 4 years ago, there was 4 data scientists who joined the company. Their mission was to start understanding which ad to show to which user so that we maximize the revenue for the developers who want to show ads in their games. And for those people who are not that familiar with the advertising space, there is a high-level description of how we work there. So the end user is the game player, which is the device in the picture. And there is publishers, ads publishers. Those are the game developers who want to earn money by showing advertisements in their games. And then there's advertisers who create. Currently, we run tens of thousands of different ad campaigns in our network. On the publishing games side, there is about 100,000 different games among which we choose from. And then the task for the machine learning is actually every time there is someone watching an ad, coming to a point when it's an option for the player to watch an ad. Machine learning decides which one of these tens of thousands of ad campaigns to show, because the only way for the developer to make revenue is by showing such an ad through which the player actually decides to install an app. So we optimize for conversion for the installs. And that's the part we have been focusing for 4 years. And we have been growing quite nicely. So today, our SDK is in more than 1.3 billion devices globally. And why I'm so excited to be here today is that for the past 3 months, only thing I have been talking about externally has been GDPR. Even though this is the topic I'm actually really interested about. I like the ethics and regulation in this. It makes things a bit more complicated, but it's actually I'm really passionate about the machine learning side of it. So happy to be here today. And how we have been able to scale this thing to reach for 1.3 billion devices on a monthly basis is through a system that could be described with figures like this. First of all, we do continuous deployment. It means that on a peak days, we bring new features or fixes or things to production up to 80 times per day. So 80 times each day, something happens, something new is live and in production. Then even more important is that in 2017, we run more than 60 A/B tests live in production, which means that we always take small new things, bring it into production, like experiment with it as soon as possible. And every time we get something positive out from there, we know that, yes, this is the right direction to go to. And what comes out from this, if we take like about half of those were algorithm improvements, tests run by the data science team. And the revenue increase we achieved last year only with the data science improvements was 13%. So that tells why it's so important for us and why it's so important to make decisions based on data and to enable the fast experimentation there. And yes, it was mentioned earlier that we make 50,000 decisions per second. Actually, it's more than 1 million decisions per second because we need to also take away some of the campaigns we know what not to show to a developer. And 20,000 times per second we end up showing something to someone. And this is pretty much how it looks like today from the data science machine learning point of view. So this is where we started from, conversion optimization, and that has been the main focus area for us. But during the past year, there has been growing plenty of other themes as well. Mainly because we have been able to invest more into the area. We have been able to grow our team like outside of just like, okay, how to scale the traffic for this size. And we have been able to like start creating new product initiatives like IAP promotion, how to not only show ads from other games, how to promote the content you have inside your own game, or what we can do related to creative optimizations. Like it's a nice example of something that we typically do by A/B testing. We have a team who comes up with new creative ideas. In the end of the video ad, for example, we have an end card where it's a call to action button which leads person into a store where they can download the app. The color of that specific button, it has a big impact on how the conversion is for each player. The difficult part is that the color matters, and it's not so that it's a global thing. It's actually quite stereotypical how red color converts well in China, while it's green that converts well in Brazil. And in Europe, most of the European countries and US, blue color performs best. But it's not only about that. That would be easy to achieve with business rules. But it's much more personal what we can do there. So that's why we are optimizing with machine learning things like the button color. And there's more and more things like this we can do. It can be a playable ad, for example. If it's a playable ad, then we can adjust the game difficulty based on individual preferences. And there's a lot of more things that we can do around that. And I think like when we think about the future and where we are heading from here, the main question for us is whether we should build things in a centralized way or decentralized. Centralizing has been easy until while we had a small team and while we were focusing on conversion optimization. But now when we have so many different product initiatives around the same theme, like how to make the whole organization work so that they actually, the player experience, the end user experience stays good, and yeah. And still we are making the best possible choices, taking into account like all the different product initiatives I showed to you. And that's it. If you want to learn more, go and visit the unity3d.com/machine learning. There is things about machine learning agents, etc. And feel free to contact me personally as well. Thank you.